Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes.
The Theranos founder who was convicted of fraud.
Elizabeth Holmes is...
Remember when a drop of blood was supposed to change the world? At one point, Theranos was valued at $9 billion, with Elizabeth Holmes hailed as the next Steve Jobs. She wore the black turtleneck. She dropped out of Stanford. She promised to revolutionize medicine. But underneath the hype was a machine that didn't work, and a lie that fooled the world.
Crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
This is Backdoor Billions, and this is the billion-dollar blood scam they tried to bury. Elizabeth Holmes wasn't just selling a product. She was selling a vision. With just a single drop of blood, her company, Theranos, claimed it could run over 200 tests. No more needles. No more waiting days for results. It was sleek. It was simple. And it was totally fake. She attracted high-profile investors, Rupert Murdoch, Betsy DeVos, even former US Secretaries of State like Henry Kissinger. But while Holmes charmed billionaires, engineers behind the scenes were duct taping a fantasy together.
Is the leading cause of bankruptcy. And we'd like to see a world in which every person stimulates. This is not about us or our technology, it's about giving people a basic right.
Theranos wasn't just selling a product, it was selling a fairy tale. A world where a single drop of blood could run hundreds of tests. No needles, no pain, just answers. Elizabeth Holmes took that dream and ran straight to the top. Forbes called her the youngest self-made female billionaire. Investors threw in nearly $1 billion. And the kicker? The tech never worked. Behind the lab doors, machines were failing, results were inconsistent, and real people were making real medical decisions based on faulty data. One whistleblower described it as a disaster zone. Another said it was basically just luck, if results were even close to accurate.
That less people have to say goodbye too soon to people they love.
But to the public, it was still magic, because Holmes, dressed in black turtlenecks and channeling her best Steve Jobs impression, had the world convinced. But you can only sell smoke for so long before someone notices the fire. In 2015, the Wall Street Journal published an explosive investigation.
Where you're only testing for one thing, cookies, using your proprietary technology.
It revealed that Theranos wasn't using its own machines for most of the tests. They were secretly relying on third-party analyzers, the same ones they claimed to have made obsolete.
The decision that we made to voluntarily submit all of our tests and test systems.
Holmes denied everything. She went on a press tour, called it a smear campaign, and doubled down on her vision. But the cracks were widening. The FDA, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and eventually the Department of Justice all came knocking. Inspections, bans, sanctions. Theranos was now less disruptive tech unicorn and more medical fraud in progress. By 2018, the fairy tale was over. Theranos shut down. Elizabeth Holmes was charged with wire fraud and conspiracy.
Founder of Theranos, who was convicted of fraud.
And in 2022, she was found guilty on 4 counts. Her sentence? over 11 years in prison. Investors lost hundreds of millions, patients were misdiagnosed, and trust in health tech innovation took a massive hit. But Elizabeth Holmes didn't just fool investors. She fooled the media. She fooled regulators. She even fooled Henry Kissinger. And for a while, she fooled the world. The Theranos story isn't just about one woman's lies. It's about the blind faith we put in charisma, in buzzwords, in black turtlenecks, in billion-dollar valuations. It's a warning that even in a world obsessed with disruption, science still demands proof. This is Backdoor Billions. Subscribe for more stories they tried to bury.